on Government Order of the Day number 7.
Arts Council of New Zealand to Aotearoa Bill interrupted debate, first reading.
At the conclusion of this last debate, John Hayes was speaking, and he has, surprisingly, a full 10 minutes left to speak.
Thanks.
I call on John Hayes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A full 10 minutes minus 4 words, I think. Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud to speak on this bill this evening. It's an excellent bill from, I think, New Zealand's finest ever Arts Minister, Chris Finlayson. Well, you may well laugh, but I'd just like to I'd like to remind the colleagues from the other side of the House that they should just think back 18 months ago to the mess that they left us. Think back 18 months to the mess that you left us. An economy in financial strife, an absolutely administrative mess, a $2 billion shortfall in ACC, and a whole lot of other problems. In the 9 years Labor was in power, real after-tax wages in New Zealand grew only 3% in total. And you might say this has got nothing to do with the arts. Well, I'll tell you what, it is fundamentally important, and the economy is a fundamental part of the Wairarapa Cultural and Heritage Arts Strategy. Now, I can assure you that the Wairarapa is a wonderful place to live, and I'll be perfectly happy to live there in another 20 years when I retire from this house. It's rich with interest, it's strong with involvement, and we celebrate a highly visible arts culture in every one of our towns, whether it's Waipakarau, Waipawa, Karatin or Masterton, particularly centred around the Aotearoa Museum. But why is economic matters so important? They're important because if we have a strong economy, we can give strong support to the arts, because we can support artists and we can support arts-related activity. This is why it's so important. And this is why I come back to the point that I began with, that in the 9 years to 2008, annual inflation was frequently running at 3% per annum. Power prices jumped by 70%. How could you afford to go out and buy a painting, for example, or a piece of sculpture? In September 2008, annual inflation was 5.1%, with no compensation to anybody. Labor spent 9 years in office without cutting taxes, making sure that nobody had money in their pocket to go out and support the arts. By September 1999, someone on the average wage paid 19% of their income in tax, and by September 2008 they paid 22%. That was your legacy. That was absolutely your legacy. And we've got a bad economy. What did people do? They left this country in droves. Where did they go? To Australia. And the ones that stayed worked in the as public servants. We inherited more public servants, local and national, than this country could afford. That's why we're changing things. John Key and his excellent band of ministers are leading this country forward so that we can support the arts and we can give a lot more support to art-related activity in our communities. Now, part of this is that we have to also streamline bureaucracy. And what the Minister is suggesting is that we want to streamline Creative New Zealand's 4 governing bodies at the moment into a single board with responsibility for determining strategic direction, priorities, and a policy framework for the whole organisation and for funding allocation decisions. Now, it stands to reason that if we can come down to one board, streamline, requiring fewer resources and fees, and fewer staff to focus on what is important, and what is important in this context is artists, art organisation, arts development, and an economy that enables all of us to support the arts through our pockets. Mr. Speaker, the Minister is proposing that we pass this bill because a streamlined bill is going to save us at least $200,000 per annum through the benefit of freeing up staff to concentrate on core responsibilities to the arts sector rather than servicing bureaucracy. and this will be extremely significant, Mr Speaker. I am very pleased to be able to support this bill. I'm very pleased that it is coming to the Government Administration Committee, and with those words, Mr Speaker, I'd like to support that bill and end my speech here. Thank you.
Yes, I don't need to go on all night,
Steve
Chris.
Chadwick.
Government